What's up, guys in the works, and welcome to the first ever Ultimate Showdown between two past winners, the Mp7 and the P90. And a lot of people have wanted to see these two square off, so this week we are going to be pitting them against each other to see which high fire rate PDW really is the true champ of them all. And a lot of people have requested seeing these two showdowns, so I'm going to let you guys know which one really is the best. So I figured it'd be nice to start off our Ultimate Showdowns where we kind of pit the past winners against each other with two of the more requested weapons in the P90 and the Mp7. But last week we did the QBZ versus the G53, and I would say the results would show that the QBZ was the winner, although there were a lot of comments for the G53. So if you want to be a part in this week's episode, be sure to vote in the Facebook poll at the end of the video and leave your comment on which weapon you like best. Well, let's take a look at some of the stats here between the Mp7 and the P90. You can see they do the same damage. They have pretty similar reloads and pretty similar recoil patterns. The big difference is the Mp7 does get 50 bullets per minute more than the P90, so that's a sizable advantage considering that they don't do a lot of damage. So that 50 rounds per minute could save you in a firefight. Now, you guys know that I'm a huge Mp7 guy. I've talked about how it just has the best hipfire in the game and how I just love using it. Well, doing this showdown has really opened my eyes a little bit, and I've made some changes in the way I play, and I've made some changes in my opinion on which one I like the best. Now, P90 does get a 10 ammo or 10 bullet more bonus from having a larger magazine, so that's a pretty sizable advantage. Considering that they both shoot fairly fast, you're going to need more ammo, and the fact that the P90 has this giant clip on it makes it a pretty deadly PDW. In fact, a lot of people would swear that it's probably the best, and I've always argued that I like the Mp7 better, but do I still feel like that post-patch? Now, I haven't used the Mp7 a ton post-patch. I'll be the first to tell you that. Up until this week when I was recording for the showdown, I didn't really have a whole lot of post-patch experience with the Mp7. And I'm like, okay, is it still as good as it used to be? Because I'm looking at the stats, and you know, I always use the Simtic.com stats, and I looked at it and I'm like, wow, well, it looks like some of the hipfire bonus you got from the laser sight on the Mp7 is gone. It's not as good as it used to be, and I think DICE must have nerfed it a little bit. So stats-wise, laser sight-wise, the P90 and the Mp7 are almost identical, and I was like, wow, does that mean that the glory that was the Mp7 hipfire is gone? And I'm here to tell you guys, I really do think that the P90 is better now. Now, I don't know why that is. You know, I've always been an Mp7 guy. I think DICE must have balanced it a little bit, because if you recall, the hipfire on the Mp7 was outstandingly good. It was some of the best I had ever seen. I was surprised that more people didn't use it. Now, don't get me wrong, the hipfire on this thing still is a monster, but when it comes to, you know, being a true PDW, being a PDW that's going to get the job done, I was having an easier time with the P90. So I am really just shocked, to be honest. Like, I never thought you'd hear that come out of my mouth, being a guy who just loves the Mp7, but something about it lately has just not been as strong as it was pre-patch. So I would say they're pretty close now. Before, I would say it was 100%, you know, Mp7 all the way. But with the patch, I would say it's almost comes down to personal preference, because you know how I normally put the scatter charts up there for you guys to look at. This week I didn't really need to, because the scatter charts are almost identical. I will say this, the Mp7 scatter charts are much more concise than the P90s. It does seem to have a little bit more tighter grouping, but that doesn't really mean a ton in the long run, because like I said, they are pretty similar. So keep that in mind when picking out a weapon. I mean, obviously neither of these are a good long range candidate, but if I was going to pick one that's going to be a long range engager, the Mp7 is definitely going to be the victor there. Now, hipfire wise, like I said, they're almost identical now. I don't really see anything in the patch notes that said that DICE actually changed anything to do with hipfire. Perhaps they just changed the grouping on the Mp7, but it seems like the Mp7 just doesn't have that laser hipfire that it used to. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still going to destroy up close with hipfire, but it's just not the powerhouse that it used to be in my eyes. Maybe it's just because I discovered the P90, discovered, you know, that giant 51 round magazine that it has on it, and just understood how beautiful it can be taking out multiple targets, because it's definitely going to be the best of breed when it comes to taking out a lot of people, at least in the PDW class, because this thing does, you know, just so many bullets in the magazine. And the last time that the P90 was in a showdown, it went against the PP19, which it destroyed the PP19 for good reason. And the PP19 is the only gun in the game that even comes close to having as much ammo in terms of PDW. So I definitely think I gotta give the edge to the P90 by just a little bit, just a tad. I feel dirty saying that because I do love the Mp7, but you know, I'm gonna say it's too close to call. I'm gonna let you guys decide. Let me know what you guys think is the best in the Facebook poll, and leave your comment what you might want to see past winners wise face off against each other. So, but if you missed last week's episode, we did the QBZ 95 versus the G53, and before that we did the F2000 versus the AEK. Two awesome episodes. If you missed them, now's your chance to catch up. So be sure to vote in the Facebook poll, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.